12,000 years ago, before the Pyramids of Giza, before Stonehenge, before written language, agriculture, pottery, or the wheel, someone built this. Located in the Taurus Mountains of southeastern Turkey, a complex of T-shaped limestone pillars, each one weighing up to 20 metric tons, standing 5.5 meters tall, arranged in perfect circles. Every single surface carved with precision images of foxes, vultures, scorpions, and serpents. The site is called Göbekli Tepe, and the numbers surrounding it do not make sense. It was constructed between 9,600 and 8,000 BCE. That places it 7,000 years before the Pyramids of Giza, 6,000 years before Stonehenge, and it was built by nomadic hunter-gatherers who had no permanent settlements, no metal tools, no written language, and no form of agriculture whatsoever. According to every model of human development we have ever constructed, this should not exist. In 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt was surveying the hills of Schindlerfa province. A local shepherd had reported unusual stones protruding from the ground. What Schmidt found changed the entire trajectory of human history. The pillars themselves are engineered, not stacked, not crude. Engineered. The T-shape is a deliberate, repeating architectural motif, consistent across dozens of structures. Many researchers believe the T-shapes represent stylized human figures. The carvings on their surfaces are not decorative. They are intentional. Ground-penetrating radar has since confirmed that what we see represents less than 5% of the total site. Beneath the surface, at least 20 additional circular enclosures. Still buried? Still waiting. Here is the core problem. The pillars at Göbekli Tepe were quarried from limestone bedrock up to 500 meters from the construction site, moving a 20-ton block 500 meters without a wheel, without metal tools, without draft animals, and without any written plan to coordinate the effort. Standard archaeological theory tells us this level of organized labor only becomes possible after agriculture, after permanent settlements, food surplus, and specialized roles in society. The people who built Göbekli Tepe were not farmers. They were nomads. They followed game, moved with the seasons. They were not supposed to be capable of this. And yet, the stones are here. Around 8,000 BCE, roughly 1,000 years after it was first constructed, Göbekli Tepe was buried. Not abandoned, not gradually forgotten. Buried. Whoever built this site returned to it and intentionally filled every enclosure with dirt, animal bones, stone fragments, and debris. They sealed it. Completely. Then they left. Nobody knows why. Was it ritual? Protection? Were they hiding it from someone? Or something? The burial itself is as mysterious as the construction. The orientation of the pillars is not random. Multiple research teams have identified deliberate astronomical alignments within Göbekli Tepe's enclosures, specifically toward Orion's belt and the star Sirius. If accurate, this would represent the earliest known astronomical engineering in human history, predating Egypt's star-aligned temples by 7,000 years. Some researchers have gone further. They argue that Pillar 43, known as the Vulture Stone, contains a precise star map encoding the date of a catastrophic comet impact around 10,950 BCE. Not a religious carving, not art. A calendar, carved in stone by people who watched the sky and understood what they saw. Before 1994, the consensus was firm. Civilization began in Mesopotamia around 3,500 BCE. The development of agriculture came first, then permanent settlements, then organized religion, then monumental construction. In that order? Always in that order. Göbekli Tepe inverts that entire sequence. Klaus Schmidt himself proposed that it may have been the temple that came first, and that organized religion was not a byproduct of civilization, but its cause. The hunger to build something sacred may be what forced nomads to cooperate, to organize, to specialize, to plant crops so workers could be fed. In other words, Göbekli Tepe didn't come after civilization began. It may be where civilization began. There is a theory that mainstream archaeology does not officially endorse, but cannot fully dismiss. Around 12,900 years ago, Earth experienced a catastrophic cooling event known as the Younger Dryas. Temperatures plunged within decades, megafauna disappeared, and sea levels shifted. The leading hypothesis for its trigger: a comet or a series of impact events across North America and Europe. What if the people who built Göbekli Tepe were not primitive hunter-gatherers stumbling towards civilization? What if they were the survivors? Survivors of a culture that existed before the catastrophe. A culture with knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and social coordination, who watched their world end and built Göbekli Tepe to make sure it would never be forgotten. Pillar 43 may be their final message, a star map recording the exact date the sky fell. Göbekli Tepe is not a closed case. In December 2025, archaeologists announced a series of significant new discoveries at the site and at nearby Karahan Tepe, a related complex uncovered in recent years. Among the findings, 2 human face reliefs carved in stone, dating to approximately 10,500 BCE. Among the oldest known representations of the human face ever found. These are not isolated sites. Ground surveys have now identified dozens of related structures across southeastern Turkey, all constructed by the same culture in the same era with the same sophisticated precision. We are not looking at a single anomaly. We are looking at an entire civilization that history forgot. Here is what we know with certainty. Göbekli Tepe is real. It is 12,000 years old. It was built by people who, by every conventional measure of that era, should not have been able to build it. It predates the pyramids by 7,000 years. It predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years, and it was deliberately buried by the same hands that raised it. And after 30 years of excavation, with 95% of the site still in the ground, we do not know who built it. We do not know why they built it. We do not know why they buried it. The more we excavate, the deeper the mystery becomes. Who built Göbekli Tepe? Why did they bury it? What civilization came before? These questions have no definitive answers. Not yet. What do you think? Drop your theory in the comments. Because after 12,000 years, every perspective still matters. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every week on Unanswered, we investigate the questions history left behind. See you in the next one.